There you go. Welcome to Date Night with the
Koopas.
channel where we do film and sometimes TV reviews. Today we will be reviewing Wakanda Forever. It's Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
First,
however, I'm interrupted. However, this is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of a spoiler because I haven't seen the movie, but she's seen the movie.
He hasn't seen it yet. Can you believe this?
So I'm going to ask all kind of questions. I'm going to say everything and want to know everything about the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, here's your warning right now. I'm asking all kind of detailed questions.
Spoiler alert.
Big time.
We told you early.
Yeah.
We always do the spoilers, but whatever. It's spoiler alert for real.
Okay.
Right?
I'm sorry. As you were saying.
Okay. Please like, comment, subscribe. It helps our algorithm if you share. Give us some love. And thank you for all the love we've been getting. Okay, enough of that.
All right. So
okay.
But now I got one question right off the bat.
Okay.
Does this movie connect with the other movies in the Marvel universe?
You know, that's interesting. Normally, I feel those movies connect, and I've got to go online and read some information. I call them the nerds. That's what I call all the Marvel people I follow. But what does that make me? Anyway.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah. The one thing I think connects is Ironheart. So in this movie, there is a character called Riri Williams, and she's an MIT student, and she has created vibranium, I can't even say it today, detector. And so in the movie, the Wakandans, as well as the people from Talokan, are trying to get this device that the government is using to figure out where the vibranium is. Okay. So her character is kind of like a young Iron Man, but a girl.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like a young student.
She's a young Tony Stark.
She's a young Tony Stark, and she wears a suit and everything in this movie. Mm-hmm. So I know that as far as the MCU Phase 5, mm-hmm. part of it, because this Wakanda Forever is in the Phase 4, right?
Oh, okay.
So ending Phase 4 is ending. This will be part of Marvel Phase 5. It's slated for December. Excuse me, not December. It's December. Slated for next year, 2023. We'll have her Ironheart series, which will be on Disney+.
She's gonna have her own movie.
She's got her own series. Her own series.
Oh, okay.
So to me, that is like an introduction there, and and some interweaving into the Marvel universe.
So how did they handle Chadwick Boseman?
Oh boy, did they handle that? Now this is interesting because, so it's fiction and nonfiction grieving. Mm-hmm. It's actually an exploration of grief, mm-hmm. because you can tell the actors and the crew and the director and just everyone was grieving Chadwick.
In real life, along with the audience. Mm-hmm.
But then you have Wakandans also grieving Chadwick. Mm-hmm. So there's
so they had him die in the movie.
Yeah, he was. It was like he was sick. Mm-hmm. So he was sick, but and they didn't show his body or anything like that. You didn't see him. Mm-hmm. So, but what you did see, there was a beautiful mural in the center of Wakanda, mm-hmm. of him, and they used sort of this like ancient Nigerian language, and that is where they had a wonderful saying about how he lives in each one of them. He lives on. Mm-hmm. There's a saying that's written in that ancient Nigerian text. Mm-hmm. One of the things I loved about the movie is that no matter where you went, if you went to a different location, they would have sort of the text animate on in that language.
Oh, that's cool.
It would animate on in ancient Mayan, mm-hmm. and then it would be in English.
So then they had to get really detailed then.
Very detailed. Uh-huh. From what I understand, they had to work with a lot of scholars, mm-hmm. Especially when you talk about, and I'll get to that in the movie, the people that live in Talokan, they're kind of like Atlantis type society. They live underwater. Mm-hmm. They have gills, they're blue, except for their leader who was Namor.
So is he a bad guy or?
Yeah, he's one of those people. They call him a villain, and I know he's been in with Marvel since the very, very beginning of Marvel.
As a good guy or a bad guy?
I think he's always been a bad guy. He was a submariner, I think, originally. Oh, that was his title. But it's like almost to me like an anti-hero, because he's a villain that you definitely understand. Mm-hmm. He wants to protect his people, mm-hmm. but the way he's doing it's different from the way the Wakandans want to do it.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Like Black Adam is kind of an anti-hero?
Kind of like a Black Adam, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, but I love just to, I guess, finish answering your question, that mural was there. They have a processional, like almost like a New Orleans style to be funeral where everyone's in white. And the way they send off the body is just very I don't know. I thought, even if you talk about nonfiction, real life, the way it first animates on with your Marvel logo and everything, you see Chadwick as Chadwick and his Black Panther in the different images of him as it animates on in the very beginning of the movie. So yeah, they definitely paid their respect. Pay homage throughout the movie. There's lots of mentions.
Did you like the movie?
I did like it. I mean, I did like the movie. I thought that it's a very sad movie in many parts.
Somber.
Yeah, and also in some points very angry. I do have a few criticisms, but ultimately I thought it was a really good film. I thought it was a good film. I thought I was just say first the good things. You can, if you watch this, you could tell a lot of heart and soul went into it. I know they did a ton of research, even especially the Mesoamericans. You have the people who live in Talocan were trying to escape the Spaniards and disease or intentional disease against them, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, right. And so they take like whatever that, the Black Panther one, there's that flower or whatever that lights up. Someone write in the comments what's that's called, please. That flower. Well, they have the same thing and they're drinking it and then it's changing their body and they can no longer breathe on land. So they have to go into the ocean.
Oh, interesting.
And one of them was pregnant, and she's of course pregnant with Neymar, and he is, a mutant. They consider him to be a demigod, but he says himself as a mutant.
He's a mutant? Like an X-Men mutant?
He says he's a mutant in the movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Too.
So he's not blue. He's a little different. And he's been around since the 16th century. So they obviously died because his mother died.
He's immortal?
I have to look that up. I don't know if he's mortal, but I do know he's been living since the 16th century. And the rest of them died.
Years, right?
100 years. His mother dies and they have to take her. Her final decision for her death, like what she wanted to do. She wanted to be buried on land because she missed being on land. She was depressed because she's in the sea. And she can't see it's not the same, right? So he goes to bury her. He's a young child, probably like Jack's age. And he sees them whipping like these, the early Mesoamericans, right? We're talking like, these are Mayan peoples, right? Getting whipped. And he's like, oh no. And he just, goes ham on those people, like blazes everything down with those early Spaniards.
What's the little things that were on his ankles?
Some type of, they call them the feathered serpent god, so some type of wings, which Shuri towards the end really had her way with, but they're like his little wings.
Like Hermes?
Kind of like her, yeah.
That's interesting.
Kind of like that. So it's interesting, like the mythological tie in that. I just thought that whole underwater, that was dope. Like, how in Aquaman, how it was very vivid and beautiful and bright. And I really did enjoy that in Aquaman. In this film, it was very kind of almost murky, but more like realistic. And what I've been reading, it was supposed to be realistic. They wanted it to be like how it would be if you were that many leagues under the sea.
Right. I mean, I guess that makes sense too, why he would be super strong, because if he's underneath the ocean, when you come above land, you've been carrying the weight of all the ocean above you. So now you'd be able to, carry anything. I mean, that's interesting.
I did read he's like strong as Hulk.
Whoa, easy.
I know, which I was like, what? But he's a early character.
Yeah.
He's been around, so they could have written him like that. I've got to look at the submarine. I got to look that up.
Hulk is supposed to be, one of the strongest in the Marvel universe.
Right.
I don't know. That's a bold statement.
Well, I'll look it up. He's supposed, but he got whooped up on a little bit, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, how was the script?
I thought it was a good script. I mean, they had a big challenge. Ryan Coogler, who I think is just a genius, cinematic genius, had the challenge of changing everything they were going to do with the Black Panther path, with Chadwick's unfortunate death, right? So, I mean, hats off to them to find a movie that connected. I think it did connect to the first movie.
Yeah.
I think it did. I think it was transitional, showing the grief and the process of a mostly now matriarchal society, because The dad is also gone, right? He was killed, murdered, whatever. So you have that and a lot of strong women.
Right.
And that's what it's centered around.
Killmonger died.
Killmonger is dead. You know, although we did have we see him briefly, which was like which was a treat to see that. Yeah, oh, that's cool.
So he made the movie.
He made the movie. I was waiting. I know he's gonna pop up somewhere. I know he's gonna pop up somewhere. So that was awesome. But I think it was kind of girl power, even though it wasn't in your face, but that's what they were. They were kind of running things. And it was showing how Queen Ramonda, you know, Angela Bassett, how she had to just lead with such regalness and just diplomatic power, because the Americans and the French were like, how share the vibranium. Why are you not sharing? And they were being really underhanded and sneaky, trying to get the vibranium, and they were just being met by the Dora, who don't play that, who were thwarting them when they were trying to do this. You know what was funny when I think about it now? You're talking about colonization. It was American, it was French, and there was Spaniards in this movie. So I see that. I see you, Ryan.
Right.
I see what you were doing with that. That is very interesting.
What do you think about the actors?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah, everyone.
Spot on. Yeah. Everyone. I mean, everyone. I can't say that. Letitia Wright did her thing. Chinook Huerta was amazing. Amazing. I'm sure that's the breakout star of this. Amazing as Namor, the villain that you kind of rooted for. So yeah. Yeah.
So he must have some charisma.
Definitely. I think, and to learn that the actual actor, when you ask him, did you swim before this movie? He's like, I never drowned. So I'm like, oh my gosh, so many of these people had to learn to swim for the movie.
He couldn't swim?
He never said that exactly, but he said, I never drowned, which to me means you didn't know how to swim.
I mean, you can't swim.
Yeah, it means you had to. And I know Angela Bassett said she had to up her skills too. I mean, Ryan Coogler is not a swimmer, but he had to learn because he's directing in the water.
Right.
And so, so I have a hats off to that. You asked me what were my challenges. You asked something like that?
Yeah.
I think it's like most Marvel movies, there's lots of plots.
Oh, right.
It's lots of people. It's lots of plots you got to follow. And that's just a Marvel thing. Like, I always feel like there's like, wait a minute, what's her purpose? Fit her? Yeah, got to fit this one in, this one in.
Right.
But that's what they do with all the Marvel films. And it would have been nice. I don't know who they could have had do this, but to have, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Shuri as Black Panther, but I also loved her as, possibly the Queen. And I loved her being sort of the Wakandan scientific department. I love that. I did yearn for another Black Panther.
Right.
First, I did.
Right.
And that's just missing T'Challa. I did yearn for that.
Right.
And what are they going to do with a transitional story?
Right.
I mean, how do you fit that in? I know that they're in the comic books. Shuri dies.
Oh, that's interesting.
And one of the books, and it is T'Challa that goes to the that ancestral plane, and where she's being trained and everything, and gets her and brings her back.
Oh wow!
And revives her.
See, what I remember about the comics was that T'Challa and Storm were married. Right. And they had this whole like stormy relationship, no pun intended. And that would have been interesting, but I don't think they're going there with this story.
I wish.
I mean, obviously.
Maybe when they do, I guess if they reboot it or whatever, or maybe an MCU 5. Yeah. But I love, that's one of my favorite comic books. Shout out to Ali for giving me that comic book many years ago, is when Storm married Black Panther. And I had this comic book even before we even heard mention of, even before we saw Chadwick, and what was that? That Captain America or the Avengers when we first saw them? Yeah. Yeah, even before that, I had that comic book, and I love Storm and Marion. Yeah. And that was the break between the war, right? Between the X-Men and the Avengers. That's what, so I feel like they have to do it because that's just a dope story. Yeah. So that's why I was like, oh man, you need a Black Panther for that. You need we had Shuri and I loved her, but we need someone else to take that. They did have one of those mid-credit scenes where you have baby T'Challa. But I don't know if they speed his growth up or what they're going to soap opera style, make him grow up. I don't know, but he was a cute little boy. Toussaint is what he called him, Toussaint.
So then the last question would be, it was a well-made movie. The story was great. The actors were great. Do you recommend this movie?
I do recommend it. I think that cinematically is beautiful. I think that the production designer did a great job. I think that the costume designer, she did a great job. I think that obviously Ryan Coogler did his thing, and obviously all of his talent were amazing. You had breakout stars in there. I mean, there was 3 breakout stars as far as when you look at the Talakan people. So there was some, people that had to learn Mayan. So, they had to work with Scott. I was really impressed. I was, of course, impressed with the dream team on Wakanda from the first Black Panther.
Yeah.
They were amazing. What I said, the thing that I was challenged with, it, like I said, it was so many plots.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was depressing and it was angry most of the movie. So that was the mood.
Yeah. So
I almost wish that the end, there was more of a battle, or I like the ending scene, but you kind of want it like more at the end. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe they went through the stages of grief. Maybe they were sad and angry, and then there was peace. So maybe that's what they were going for. Yeah, I need to see it again.
Yeah. I need to see it once. I mean, you really painted the picture for me. It does sound like something I would enjoy.
Right.
I do want to see it.
Right.
So I guess we say give it a what? Thumbs up.
I'll send it upstream.
All right.
I send it upstream. I wish that I'm not gonna give this part away. I wish that one person they didn't kill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. I think they could have kept her, but that's my only grievance. Right. It was amazing.
You say her.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler. Look, it was. I think you should go see it. I think it's one of the best MCU movies I've seen as far as production value, the story, the love, and the care. We've
That's a bold statement.
I think it's one of the best. I mean, along up there with the first Avengers.
Yeah.
Up there with second Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Endgame.
Yeah, with Endgame. I've been kind of disappointed with some of the recent Marvel movies. So yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah, we kind of like
Eternals.
But this was good. Eternals. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, but I will say that I kind of was waiting for that sadness to break, and I know.
And it never really did.
It never really did.
It transferred into.
It transferred
to anger.
To anger. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. So that's my thoughts.
Okay.
That's my thoughts on Black Panther.
All right.
From one nerd to another.
All right. Well, normally you do the close, so you want to close this out?
Like this. Yes. Please like, subscribe, stream responsibly, and tell us what you think. What did you think about the movie? What do you think about the fact there'll be an Ironheart next year? What are your thoughts? Help my boy out. Tell him he's got to go see it.
Yeah, I'll go check it out.
All right.
Bye, y'all.